Public opinions have surfaced recently regarding the health of Chinese President Xi Jinping, as there have been indications that he may be suffering from a serious illness. On January 17th, Xi Jinping made a public appearance at the funeral of former vice chairman of Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, Zhang Kehui. Observers noted significant changes in Xi Jinping's physical appearance compared to his attendance at Chinese Premier Li Keqiang's funeral late last year. Xi Jinping was noticeably thinner in January this year. His suit was loose-fitting and his complexion appeared pale. Moreover, official footage of a meeting on January 24th between Xi Jinping and the president of Uzbekistan showed a deviation from normal practice. The footage from Chinese news channels CCTV 13 gave extensive coverage on the Uzbekistani president, whereas cameras lingered for mere seconds when focused on Xi Jinping. Chinese Communist Party's official media outlets usually have strict guidelines regarding the duration of camera shots and the length of coverage when reporting on important leaders. The unusual approach taken by CCTV 13 for this meeting suggested to some that Chinese authorities were trying to conceal signs of Xi Jinping's deteriorating physical condition. On January 29th, Xi Jinping attended the Spring Festival cultural performance for old cadres in the Beijing garrison, organized by the Central Military Commission. Despite his efforts to appear cheerful, his steps were heavy and unsteady. Questions have been raised regarding Xi Jinping's health since 2012. In 2022, both the UK's Daily Mail and The Sun reported suspicions of a brain aneurysm. In 2021, Xi Jinping experienced sudden swelling in the brain and required an emergency hospitalization. However, he declined surgery and sought alternative treatment options. In the same year, Chinese-American columnist and political commentator Chen Po-kong mentioned that Xi Jinping was possibly suffering from pancreatic cancer. Recently, news has once again surfaced on social media around Xi Jinping's possible pancreatic cancer condition. A post supposedly written by a nurse from a top-tier hospital in Beijing said that she had many classmates who work at various major hospitals in Beijing. One of her classmates revealed that Xi Jinping underwent a PET CT scan at 301 Hospital, a military hospital designated for top Chinese leaders due to his weight loss. The scan revealed shadows in his pancreas, raising suspicions of pancreatic cancer. However, the post also clarified that her classmate does not work at the 301 hospital. The health status of top Chinese leaders is treated as highly classified information. Therefore, it is unlikely that hospital staff who are aware of Xi Jinping's condition would disclose any information publicly. So, caution must be taken when evaluating sensitive information such as this. While the credibility of these rumors remains uncertain, there have been other observable incidents that support such claims. During a visit to France in March 2019, he was filmed walking with a noticeable limp while reviewing the Guard of Honor. Simple actions like sitting and standing appeared strenuous to him and required him to use his hands for support. This was a stark contrast to earlier appearances of him in Europe, where he was energetic in his stride. In June of the same year, he lost his balance after taking 2 steps while making his exit from an economic forum in Russia. He was fortunately assisted by Russian security personnel. In September 14, 2022, during a visit to Kazakhstan, he nearly stumbled while descending from an aircraft staircase. He saved himself from the fall by grabbing onto the handrail. Additionally, Xi Jinping has a personal physician, Dr. Zhang Yixin, who was a former director at the Cancer Center at Sun Yat-sen University in Guangdong, China. He was also director at the State Key Laboratory of Oncology in southern China, vice chairman of China Anti-Cancer Association, and editor-in-chief of the magazine Chinese Journal of Cancer. Given his expertise in oncology, his role as Xi Jinping's personal physician has added to speculations about the president's health. Ultimately, Xi Jinping's health remains an unsolved mystery. In recent years, one after another of his former confidants have fallen from grace. Figures such as former Foreign Minister Qin Gang, former National Defense Minister Li Shangfu, Rocket Force Commander Li Wuzhao, and numerous serving or retired military generals have been dismissed. According to the customary practices of the Chinese Communist Party's ruling inner circle, no explanations for these purges were made. Regardless of the reasons behind these purges, they undoubtedly weigh heavily on Xi Jinping's mind. Additionally, setbacks such as the stagnation of the Belt and Road Initiative, the inability to prevent the re-election of the Democratic Progressive Party in Taiwan, and the progression of Western disengagement in China's interests serve only to compound Xi Jinping's troubles. It is a common case for authoritarian regimes to have few trustworthy individuals in leadership positions. At the same time, strong voices of opposition are held against the dictatorship. This is a fate that all dictators throughout history have faced, and Xi Jinping is no exception. Indeed, some commentators say that if Xi Jinping's health were to deteriorate, it would hardly be surprising, given his daily struggle to fend off political and military challenges and potential assassination attempts. All while facing enemies on all fronts, the mental strain is immense and unrelenting. As China's domestic and foreign affairs continue to be a burden, Xi Jinping lives in a state of perpetual tension. Over time, this tension may manifest itself in physical ailments. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP government, is often quite nervous when it comes to rumors as such. They are also likely to overreact. There's a Chinese internet celebrity named Wang Dajuan who recently announced that her 32-year-old husband, Gao Bo, passed away from pancreatic cancer. Both Wang Dajuan and her husband came from lower-class backgrounds. Around August last year, Gao Bo went to the hospital feeling unwell. By December, he was diagnosed with late-stage pancreatic cancer. The topic, Wang Dajuan's husband dies from pancreatic cancer, briefly trended on Weibo. Confused internet users questioned why it was trending, with some remarking on its eerie prominence. Some cleverly replied, "He is not famous, but cancer is famous." Another user cautioned, "You're being too daring." By February 1st, it was found that the topic disappeared with a search on Weibo showing content not available for that topic. Some users hinted that since Wang Dajuan's husband died from pancreatic cancer was removed, it suggests a connection to Xi Jinping. Someone else commented, Wang Dajuan's husband dies from pancreatic cancer. Why not Winnie? Another said, Xi Jinping adds a new banned word, pancreatic cancer. The more Chinese authorities overreact and restrict such information online, the more people associate Xi Jinping with pancreatic cancer. In 2015, a scholar at the University of California named Huang Heifeng conducted 2 sets of rumor and rumor rebuttal experiments that simulated an authoritarian society. The results showed that while rumors weaken government credibility, denying rumors does not necessarily restore it. Sloppy, hasty, and unproven denials that are lacking evidence only exacerbate the situation, further undermining government credibility. This exacerbates the social effect where rumor rebuttal intensifies the spread of rumors. In 2020, a new media expert at Boston University named Guo Lei analyzed rumors that were circulating in China in 2016. Guo Lei found that the Chinese authorities' rumor rebuttal efforts fueled the spread of approximately 40% of false information. The excessive response from the Chinese authorities regarding pancreatic cancer-related online information confirms the accuracy of these research findings. There are so many rumors circulating that are causing a lag in deletion and censorship. Chinese authorities find themselves in a long-standing dilemma. If no action is taken, there will be social unrest, but if action is taken, it could backfire. Perhaps in response to rumors, Xi Jinping seems to intentionally appear in public to dispel the rumors. On February 1st, Xi Jinping appeared in the streets of Tianjin, praising the locally branded Go Believe steamed buns and seemingly in good health. However, this appearance brought forth new jokes from the public. The first joke was that he seems unaware that one of his nicknames among the people is Baozi, steamed bun. The situation is like a performer stepping on stage where everyone laughs except the performer. This is also much like a real-life version of the folk tale, The Emperor's New Clothes. Another joke that followed is the plummet of the domestic share in stock exchanges, the A-share market, earning its reference as a stock disaster. Some attributed this to Xi Jinping's seemingly healthy appearance and hints of nostalgia for the Cultural Revolution in his speech. Thus, the A-share market's suicidal collapse highlights the overall collapse of confidence in the society's economic outlook. This reflects a Chinese saying that was once widespread in Chinese social media. If you're well, then comes a bolt from the blue. Conversely, if Xi Jinping were to encounter any mishap, then the A-share market might actually surge. Even if Xi Jinping proves himself healthy, reports about him having a terminal illness will not disappear, but rather continue to emerge in various forms. This could include internal anti-Xi forces within the CCP engaging in a propaganda war, deliberately spreading negative information overseas to undermine Xi Jinping and even force him out of office. It could also reflect public sentiment. Those spreading hearsay about Xi Jinping's illness may not even believe the news themselves, but are merely seeking attention and optimism. There is a popular online phrase that dreams must be had in case they come true. The dream of Xi Jinping being seriously ill has become a shared aspiration among the Chinese people, providing much-needed spiritual comfort. In an authoritarian society, hearsay serves as an alternative media that directly competes with official information in mainstream media, thus acting as a counterbalance to official power. Rumors function as criticism and sometimes resemble indirect critiques of the government. Since the establishment of the CCP by Mao Zedong, no Chinese leader has provoked as much widespread hope for his downfall as Xi Jinping has. It's a spectacle desired by the people, officials, political opponents, democracy advocates, second-generation communists, Xi's own loyalists, and even those in the central headquarters of the Chinese Communist Party, Zhongnanhai. Some social media individuals known for being newsbreakers say that Xi Jinping might resign from his position as General Secretary of the CCP or President of the country. This will occur during the third plenary session of the CCP's Central Committee, and Tsai Chi may take over Xi Jinping's position. This way, Xi Jinping can retreat behind the scenes for health reasons. He could also gain political capital by promoting his wife, Peng Liyuan, to a position in the political bureau. However, this could become a replay in history. Will Peng Liyuan become another Zhuang Qing, who was the former First Lady and wife of Mao? Will Tsai Chi become another Liu Shaoqi? Liu Shaoqi was the designated successor personally appointed by Mao Zedong, but was later labeled as a traitor and purged by Mao. Liu Shaoqi eventually met a brutal downfall during his presidency. Does Tsai Chi have reason to worry? Some analysts believe that frequent rumors can put extra pressure on Xi Jinping, leading him to become extremely impatient and anxious. This may result in extreme political decisions and eagerness to make achievements and leave a legacy in history. He could make misjudgments and flawed decisions, similar to Putin's sudden attack on Ukraine. Therefore, scenarios such as a sudden attack on Taiwan or a complete break in relations with the United States are not unlikely. It could also cause a nationwide Feng Qiao movement, a revolutionary re-education movement that will bring back the era of cultural revolution and planned economy. It may ultimately force developed countries to unite against China in war or bring about the collapse of the domestic economy and morale. Both situations will potentially lead to the end of CCP's rule. Of course, if there was a war between the world and the CCP may use extreme measures like initiating a nuclear war, though it is likely to be destroyed by the US and Europe beforehand. If Xi Jinping were to fall seriously ill, his political enemies might push for an opportunistic move against him. It could lead to more intense and brutal political struggles within the CCP, possibly including coups and assassinations. Xi Jinping understands this, hence he has intensified internal purges. The purge occurrences range from economic sectors to the most sensitive military institutions, with the momentum of rather killing the innocent than letting anyone go. This amount of internal strife could lead to widespread paranoia, like the situation before the dissolution of the Soviet Union. At the time, when Soviet officials heard a car approaching their homes, they would immediately jump to the conclusion that they were about to be arrested and commit suicide by jumping off buildings. Similar instances of CCP officials committing suicide are not uncommon today. This atmosphere of pervasive fear could prompt preemptive actions of harming one another, eliminating potentially harmful colleagues, switching sides, or even turning against Xi for self-preservation. This leads to a vicious cycle of internal conflict, posing the question of how long the CCP's rule can be sustained under such conditions. If Mao Zedong had not passed away in 1976, the disorder of the Cultural Revolution and the looming economic collapse in China at the time would not have been restrained. Significant changes across the nation only occurred after Mao's natural death. The current situation is strikingly similar. For significant changes to happen in China, Xi Jinping's downfall seems inevitable. If Xi Jinping remains healthy, he is highly likely to remain in power for life. Even if he appears to step down behind the scenes, he will still be manipulating the situation. This is why people across the country hope for his terminal illness. In reality, the CCP system gives no restraining power on its leaders. Former Chinese Communist leader Deng Xiaoping once claimed that the CCP had found a way to break free from the historical cycle by limiting the highest leaders to 2 government terms. However, without opposition parties, democratic elections, media supervision, or separation of authorities, the claim is self-deceptional. Xi Jinping has already broken Deng Xiaoping's claim by forcibly extending his 3rd term and promoting personality cults. Xi Jinping's emergence is by no means accidental. It is the outcome of the fundamental decay of the Chinese Communist Party. Present-day China can be described as a high-risk society, where the state machinery operates under a state of exhaustion and high pressure. In this state, when it's said to be indestructible, it seems to be on the brink of collapse. While, when it appears to be on the brink of collapse, the regime remains stable despite repeated blows. This is like Xi Jinping miraculously dodging terminal illness multiple times. This represents a state of agony where both survival and death seem impossible, a state almost impossible to quantify using a misery index. Reduced household spending, heightened individual insecurity, escalating social injustice, a lack of societal pathways, a bleak personal outlook, and psychological and political depression are struggles for the everyday Chinese person on top of normal survival pressures. The burden of its historical legacy has left the CCP devoid of any potential for reform. This condition is similar to the state of the Vietnam Communist Party. It is like an unstoppable, broken-down vehicle rushing straight towards the cliff. Chinese internet users have given Xi Jinping the nickname Master Accelerator, signifying his role as the chief designer and leader of the CCP's collapse. The CCP is the breeding ground for figures like Xi Jinping, and he represents the corruptness of the CCP. If his downfall leads to the collapse of the CCP, it would be a blessing for all.